molweni, sanibonani, Ndebele, vusheni. Hello everybody. Welcome back to African Xhosa ASMR. So, just when you thought, oh, maybe she ran out of things to teach us when it comes to all things South Africa, well, no, honey, no. I have more and more of lessons where the previous lessons came from. We are so diverse here in South Africa. We have multiple cultures, multiple traditions, multiple customs, so there's always something new to learn. And in today's video, I will be teaching you all things South African traditional food. My mouth is watering. I'm so hungry, but you know what? It can wait up until I'm done with today's video. Well, disclaimer, if my stomach gwagways or grrr whilst I'm filming, just know that I'm hungry. Andihamba ndodwa ke, ndihamba with my rose for you. Okay, once again, today I would like to ask, will you accept this rose, as I am teaching you about our food from the different cultures that we have in the Rainbow Nation. I'll be telling you guys the English name as well as the traditional name, and then give you a brief description of what the dish really is made out of, you know what I mean? If I was a rich content creator who got sponsorships or had many members who have clicked the join button, I would have approached this video in a different way. It would have been a mukbang, okay? And I don't have a lot of people who have clicked the join button. If you would like to support the channel so that I can make sure that I prepare top-notch content for you guys, please click the join button. What I use for the money from the join button is to buy equipment for you guys and props that I use in my videos to ensure that I deliver top-notch content for you. So please do make sure that you click the join button or click the super thanks button or like the video, comment on it, share it with the world so that we can get more recognition and deliver quality content for you. But we're grateful for the people who have done so and continue to do so. From the bottom of my heart, this rose is for you. Thank you. So, before we get started with today's video, I would obviously like to start with the word of the day. These are words of encouragement from the Bible to carry you throughout the week. So, where are we going to get them? Let's see. Okay, our words of encouragement from this week are going to be in the book of John, chapter 16, verse 33. And they read, I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but take courage. I have overcome the world. So, please be courageous and know that the Lord is with you. You've got this. You're more than a conqueror through Christ who gives you strength. Awesome, great, perfect. So now, without further ado, let's get into the juicy dishes we have in South Africa. Okay, I will be moving from culture to culture, from this culture to that culture, as I teach you about the dishes. Let us start with the Zulu culture. That's ZULU, the Zulu culture. Well, in the Zulu culture, we have what we refer to as amadumbe. Amadumbe. Okay, relax. We have amadumbe. Amadumbe is basically yam. Yam is idumbe. Well, amadumbe is a starchy root vegetable that is similar to potatoes. I had called someone and they're trying to call me back. Let me just put my phone on flight mode. Now I'm filming. Okay. I'll get back to them. Okay. So amadumbe is a starchy root vegetable that is similar to potatoes. It is often boiled or it is baked and served as a side dish. Sometimes it is mashed with milk and butter, or it is cooked with a stew for a hearty meal. That is our first meal in the Zulu culture, and in each culture I will cover 2 meals. Okay, besides amadumbe, we also have ujeqe. Ujeqe is steamed bread. Ujeqe is a soft, fluffy bread made from steaming dough in a pot or a container. The dough is prepared with flour, yeast, sugar, and water, then allowed to rise before steaming. It is often served with curries, stews, or even peanut butter and jam. I know you wanted me to say jelly. I'm sorry. It's not peanut butter and jelly, it's peanut butter and jam, okay? Okay. And that is it for isiZulu. We have covered ujeqe, steam bread, and we have also covered amadumbe, which is yam in the Zulu culture. After amadumbe nojeqe, we have the Xhosa culture. Let's move on to my culture. NdingumXhosa kaloku. Masithethe ngathi. In isiXhosa, we have what we call umphokoqo. Ndipheka umphokoqo. I am cooking crumbly maize porridge. Umphokoqo, crumbly maize porridge. So how is it made? Umphokoqo is made from maize meal and water. Umphokoqo is a crumbly dish often served with sour milk, which is what we call amasi. Sour milk, amasi. The maize meal is cooked with a small amount of water until it forms a dry, crumbly texture referred to as umphokoqo. Umphokoqo. I do not like umphokoqo. I really don't like it. I just realized that I love food that has spices and taste to it. Umphokoqo does not have any taste to me. And when it comes to fruit, I don't like apples because apples do not have any taste to me. Of course they all have taste, but it's not giving. It's not giving. It's not giving. So I do not really like them for that reason. So when I was in Japan and it was summer, a lot of South Africans would say, "Oh my gosh, I'm craving umphokoqo. I am craving umphokoqo." Not even one day have I ever craved umphokoqo. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But guess what? At my household, when it's hot, my mom always says we should cook umphokoqo. It's straightforward. It's a cool dish that actually cools you down. It cools you down. It's actually, good for eating in summer because it cools you down. But if you eat it in winter, you're gonna get cold. You're gonna freeze. You're gonna freeze. It's like drinking iced water. So as much as I realize that I love like food with spices on them, every time we eat umvubo ekhaya umphokoqo, my dad would always say we should fry something on the side. We should just have like sausage on the side. So we would eat umphokoqo and then just eat sausage. Just get rid of the thing that you didn't eat, something that has like proper taste, something meaty. I love like meaty food. So I'm sorry, vegan people. I really love meat. I really do. I'm sorry. I tried to be vegan for a while, but it just didn't work out for me. I was like, every time I pass by like a restaurant, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to, I just go in. So it did not end well for me. And yeah, I love meat. So every time we eat umphokoqo in our household, we would always have boerewors on the side because of that. It's mainly me and my dad who are like that. But my other family members, including my mom and siblings, they really can eat umphokoqo and they really don't care about that. Okay, we have umphokoqo, and then after umphokoqo, what do we have? We also have isidudu. Isidudu, which is soft porridge. Soft porridge, we call it isidudu. Isidudu. It is a smoother version of maize porridge. Isidudu is prepared by cooking maize meal with water or milk to create a creamy consistency. It's typically enjoyed as a breakfast or dessert. Who eats isidudu as a dessert? Sometimes sweetened with sugar or honey. Well, as much as I don't like umvubo, which is umphokoqo, I absolutely love porridge, isidudu, but it has to be fermented porridge, which means isidudu, isimuncu. Usually you mix your water with the maize meal. You just mix it together, right? Mix it together in a liquidy substance. And then you also have a boiling pot of water in the stove. You mix everything together, then it becomes smooth and soft. But that is just your basic porridge, is tutu. I don't like it like that. I like it when it's fermented. What that means is that you take the maize meal and then you mix it with the water and seal it in a container for a couple of days up until it gets fermented. And then that is when it's ready now to cook. And then you take it, you pour it into the boiling water, and then you mix together. And when you taste it, it tastes sour. Usually people at times would just pour vinegar on your basic porridge. I don't like it like that. I want it to be naturally sour. I can taste that it has vinegar added, but I want it to be fermented. It just tastes different. It tastes yummier. It tastes amazing when it's fermented. So I really like isitutu esimuncu. Isitutu esimuncu. Okay. You know me, I'm biased. So because I'm biased, I'm gonna give you a bonus when it comes to Xhosa food. And the bonus is going to be my absolute favorite, which is umngqusho. Umngqusho. Umngqusho is samp and beans. Samp and beans. There's not a person in this whole entire world that I've ever met, not even at restaurants, that I've met anyone who cooks umngqusho better than my mom. Uyawushaya umngqusho umamamva. She doesn't even add the complicated things like your carrots, your what. No. She just cooks it how it's supposed to be cooked. But it's so soft, yummy, and delicious. She cooks the most amazing umngqusho I've ever had in my entire life. Hence, umngqusho is one of my absolute favorite dishes, which is samp and beans. Samp and beans. You just take your samp and your beans and you pour them on a stove filled with water. You boil them, and then you add your spices, your salt, etc. And it takes a while to actually cook umngqusho. One of my mother's secrets to cooking umngqusho, she randomly soaks it for a certain period of time in water. Just let it sit there after washing it. Just let it sit there and soak before she starts cooking it. She doesn't take it and pour it on the pot, which just adds a bit of flavor into it when you prepare it that way before cooking it. And that was umngqusho. Samp and beans. As I was talking about amasi, umphokoqo, and I was in a lot of people that I went with in Japan, they're like, bakhalela amasi, bakhalela umphokoqo. They're craving umphokoqo. And I was like, what? And it was so intense because in Japan they don't sell amasi, which is sour milk, or at least they were not familiar with maybe selling them. I didn't even bother to look at the shops because I don't care about amasi. God, I don't care. So they every time they would come back home to South Africa, when they leave back to Japan, they would leave with liters upon liters of amasi and kgs upon kgs of maize meal. And when they get there, if there's someone who went home and came back, and they'll be like, guys, come over to my house for dinner. I'm cooking umphokoqo. And people, South Africans, would get excited to go eat umphokoqo. And I'd be like, I really don't like it. But anyway, yeah. But umngqusho, though, on the other hand, love it. With my mother's touch, obviously. And after that, I want to move on to a different culture because I am done babbling about my very own Xhosa. And then now, let us move on to the Sotho culture. The Sotho culture. Sotho culture. By the way, if you guys would like to watch cooking videos from me, the most relaxing cooking videos from me, I would absolutely suggest checking out this video where I cook ujeqe. It's absolutely fantastic. I cooked ujeqe in this video and it tasted yummy. It's one of the dishes I'm good at making, ujeqe. In that video, you'll get a clear description of how it's cooked because I'm doing it practically from start to finish for you and with you. It's very relaxing. Honestly speaking, if I were to choose one of the most relaxing videos that I ever made, in my opinion, I would say it is this one where I was cooking ujeqe. With all that being said, let's move on to the next culture. Can you guess what it is? We started with Zulu food, saza kwiXhosa food, sathetha ngomphokoqo thetha ngomphokoqo nantoni nesidudu nomqa nomngqusho. Now it's time to move on to the next culture. Can you guess what it is? It is the Sotho culture. The Sotho culture. What are the two famous dishes that I would like to describe for you when it comes to the Sotho culture? Well, in the Sotho culture, we have motoho, which is fermented sorghum porridge. It's different from isitutwesimuncu that I personally was describing because isitutwesimuncu, which is fermented, it's fermented from maize meal, so it's made from corn, but this one is made from sorghum. I am not a fan of the fermented porridge made from sorghum. I'm a fan of the one made from maize, otherwise referred to as corn. So now we have motoho, motoho, fermented sorghum porridge. Motoho is a tangy porridge made from fermented sorghum. The sorghum flour is mixed with water and allowed to ferment for several days before being cooked. It's enjoyed as a refreshing drink or breakfast. Refreshing drink or breakfast. We do also have porridge that is served as a drink, but we call it ujeqe in the Xhosa culture, and other cultures call it amahewu, but in the Xhosa we Geu, which is basically it. So we have moto, which is fermented sorghum porridge. After that, we have nyekowe. Nindixolele pronunciation, guys. Bandisibisa kakubi andisazi. Nindixolele. We have nyekowe, which is mixed vegetables and bean stew. This hearty dish includes dried beans, maize kernels, and a variety of vegetables. The ingredients are boiled together until soft, creating a nutritious and filling stew. So that is basically it for the Sotho culture. After that, which culture should I talk about? Which old culture should I talk about? I think I should move on to the Tswana culture, abaTswana, the Tswana culture, and describe two famous dishes for you and you and you. What are they? In the Tswana culture, we have bogobe jwa lerotse, which is melon flavored porridge. The dish combines sorghum or maize meal with lerotse, which is a type of wild melon, to create a sweet and slightly tangy porridge. The melon is grated and cooked with the maize or sorghum meal. Okay, by the way, last time I checked, maize, sorghum, and wheat were amongst the top staple crops in South Africa. So a lot of dishes are most likely to include maize, which is corn, sorghum, and wheat. And then for our second dish, we have seswa, which is pounded beef. Seswa is made by boiling beef, goat, or lamb with salt and water until tender. The meat is then pounded or shredded and served with pap or dumplings. Okay, that sounds great. It reminds me of amanqina. Yeah. And speaking of amanqina, let us move on to the next culture, and it's two famous dishes. The next culture I want us to cover is the Venda culture. When it comes to the Venda culture, we have what is referred to as morudu or morudu. We call this amanqina, which is basically animal feet. In our culture, we eat a lot of feet. When it comes to animals, we do eat their feet. I remember I was once watching the show 90 Day Fiance. I once told you guys about that during my unemployment days, I would sit at home and watch TLC, and there was this show like 90 Day Fiance that was like watching all the time, and one of the like couples was Chantal and Pedro. So Chantal visited Pedro's family and they prepared chicken feet for her, and she was deeply offended by that and said it's associated with some sort of voodoo or witchcraft, and she didn't want to eat the chicken feet. And then she told them they should eat the chicken feet. And I was like, wow, I didn't know of that. In our culture, chicken feet are a luxury. Like, we eat them like nobody's business. Sometimes we crave them as well. So I'm craving chicken feet right now. So we eat feet of everything, like cow feet, sheep feet, pig feet. We just call them amanqina. So if it's chicken feet, amanqina nkuku, chicken feet, and then amanqina hagu, pig feet, amanqina nkomo, cow feet, which are the most famous ones that people eat. Is a form of luxury. And they take a long time to actually prepare. So we love feet in South Africa, eating them, animal feet to be exact. So yeah. And then after that, we said we have a morudu or mohodu, often with spices, salt, and onion for flavor. It is a delicacy enjoyed for its rich and delicious texture. Okay, now what is the second dish? What is the second dish? What is the second dish? Well, the second dish when it comes to the Venda culture is vuswa. I'm trying to, it's movango, which is mobango. Is it buswa? Vuswa or buswa, which is pap or stiff porridge. Pap or stiff porridge. I do not mind stiff pap. I actually enjoy it. It's stiff pap. It's not ujeqe. Stiff pap is usually served with a soup and meat and stuff like that, which makes it delicious. But ujeqe is served with amasi. And what I do amasi, guys, andidibani kwanamasi at all. So when it comes to this, it is similar to pap, and it is a staple dish served with meat or vegetables. That's why I like it. It is made by boiling maize meal with water and stirring until it reaches a thick consistency. So absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. There are countries that do not sell maize meal. They don't sell maize meal. So a lot of people do crave such things once they leave South Africa. Undakhumbula ipap sana nevors qamba ndizoyifumana phi? Angazifumani kwazona. Kuhambile phaphile kaloku waya kwamanye amazwe yena. And then after that, it's only fair for us to move to the next culture. The next culture. let's move on to the next culture, which is going to be the Ndebele culture. Ndebele, 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 Ndebele culture. When it comes to the Ndebele culture, the first dish I want to talk about is inkobe. 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 For a bit of more information about inkobe, inkobe are boiled maize kernels. Boiled maize kernels. And inkobe is simply maize kernels which have been boiled until soft. It is a simple but filling snack or side dish. Let me tell you something about inkobe. I don't like maize that has been boiled. I like maize that has been put in fire directly. That is what we call it. So when it comes to maize kernels, I do not like inkobe, but instead I love what we call inqasha. Inqasha. Inkobe is, we also have inkobe in the Xhosa culture. We also call them inkobe. We eat them because maize is the most stable crop in our country. So I eat maize kernels every now and then. And when it comes to the kernels, I like them to be fried. And when you fry them, you call them inqasha. Inqasha. You fry them like you would popcorn, but with popcorn, it actually pops into popcorn. But when it comes to inqasha, it's fried. It has that dark color of frying, but it's still corn. And I love that. Inqasha. Absolutely love inqasha. We would always have undo maize at home, and I love ujeqe, which is made directly from the fire. But my family usually boils it, so I don't like the boiled one. What do you call the one that is boiled? Because the kernels are inkobe. I forgot what the boiled one is called, but it has a name. And now I absolutely love the fried one, but I can't prepare fire anyway at home, to actually make it, because you need the outdoors fire, like the one from your fireplace or the one that you make when you go camping. But I can't make that. So what I would usually do is take the maize and take out the kernels and then fry the maize as I would if I had a popcorn. And actually that is very damaging to your pots. It's very damaging because it's not as soft as popcorn, so it actually leaves a dark mark on the inside of your pots. So I would always do that, and my mom would come back home like, who did this? And it was quite obvious I did that, and every time she would see that, like, see, Viewer, it was you. It was you. Don't do this. Mama did not like inqasha for that reason, because it leaves your pots in the most not nicest way. But I would be craving ujeqe, that's why I would do that. But inqasha, love it. It's been a while. I haven't eaten inqasha in such a long time. But talking about inkobe reminded me of it. And after inkobe, in the Ndebele culture, we have what we called umqanqa. 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 Umqanqa is pumpkin and maize dish. Pumpkin and maize dish. It is a sweet and savory dish made by cooking pumpkin with maize meal. It's typically flavored with sugar or salt, depending on preference. I absolutely love the one with sugar, but the thing is, we in the Eastern Cape have the most fertile soil ever. So when we cook umqa, we do not even have to add salt to our pumpkin, sugar, sorry, because the pumpkin already has like the perfect amount of sugar in it to make it sugary. It tastes so nice. And we also add a bit of margarine to add a bit of flavor. Just watch my video and see how I cook it. I absolutely love umqa. And after that, let's move on to the next culture. Can I guess what it is? Can I guess it? Can I guess it? Well, the next culture I wanted to discuss two dishes from is Afrikaans. 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 Afrikaans has one of my favorites. One of my favorites because it's meaty. I love meat. And it is boerewors. 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 I love me some boerewors. But in all honesty, my absolute favorite wors is tomato wors. Oh my god. Oh my Jesus. I love tomato wors so much. And one thing is that where I am right now, they don't have tomato wors. So every time I go home, I go to the shop. Please don't judge me. Please don't judge me. I go to the shop and I randomly spend almost close to 1,000 buying tomato wors. I know, I'm sorry, I know. I love food. I really love food and I love meaty food. So I would buy tomato wors at the shop and go home and it's either I fry it or I take out the frying stand and I fry it. I absolutely love tomato wors, like you guys. And now the fact that they don't have it here is seriously frustrating to me. So there's a friend of mine who knows how much I love it. When they go to the neighboring town from here, they always tell me, I'm going to the neighboring town. Do you want me to bring you tomato wors? And I'm like, duh. So now they don't even ask, they just bring me tomato wors. They just ask me how much do you want it for. Depending on how much I'm craving it, I would tell them the amount, but I don't want to say how much because I don't want you to judge me because I really love it. So yeah, we have tomato wors. What is tomato wors, you may wonder? Tomato wors is the farmer's sausage, basically. I would get tomato wors, boerewors, as farmer's sausage. I usually get it from the butchery. That's where you usually get it from. But you can buy it from a supermarket as well. But, it tastes artificial if you buy it from the shop. It does not taste as fresh and delicious. So I usually buy tomato wors and boerewors in a what do you call it, in a butchery, because they have the best quality and it's yummy, fresh and everything. So it's farmer's sausage, boerewors. And you don't quite find the best quality boerewors anywhere in the world besides South Africa. If you're traveling to South Africa, I would absolutely suggest trying tomato wors from a butchery or boerewors. It's amazing. Make sure that you fry it. It's amazing. It's great. It's actually a coiled sausage made from a mix of beef, pork, and spices. It's not quite a sausage. It's not because it's not a sausage. A sausage tastes different. Bologna tastes different. This is top quality, like food that I'm talking about right now. Sausage. This is wors that I'm talking about, okay? Absolutely delicious. It is usually grilled on a braai. I've been saying braai. I forgot to mention that braai means barbecue. Braai means barbecue. Okay? And served with pap or bread rolls. Pap or bread rolls. If or when I haven't eaten tomato wors in such a long time, when I do get to eat it, I just want to eat it, just it. I don't want any bread. I don't want any pap because it dilutes it. But then after a while, I've been home, I've eaten enough, that craving is like, has subsided. Then I can have pap or like bread rolls on the side. Amazing. And then after that, we have the second dish from Afrikaners, and it is milk tart. Milk tart. Milk tart. What is milk tart, you may wonder? We have already spoken about boerewors to babble about my absolute favorite, which is tomato wors. And then now I am talking about milk tart. I'm talking about milk tart. What is it exactly? Well, let us see. Milk tart, or in English is called milk tart, is a dessert that is made with a flaky, pasty crust of a creamy filling of milk, sugar, eggs, and flour. The tart is often topped with cinnamon. Okay, I'm so hungry. Okay, let's move on to other dishes. And then when coming to other dishes, we also have Cape Malay culture. If you want to learn more about Cape Malays, how they got to be, and their history here in South Africa, I would definitely suggest checking out this virtual tour video of mine where I take you through the Cape Malay place of origin in South Africa, and I showcase how they came to be. Well, now coming to their dishes, what are some of the two most famous? The first one is bobotie. Absolutely love bobotie. Not as in tea that you drink, but bobotie. Bobotie is spice, mince, bake. Spiced mince bake. It is a savory dish made with spiced minced meat, dried fruit, and a creamy egg topping. It is baked until golden and served with yellow spice. That was bobotie. After a bobotie, we have another one. I'm sorry once again, I don't know how to pronounce this one. It's called Gok Sisters, which is basically syrup soaked donuts. Syrup soaked donuts. They are braided doughs. So the braided dough is deep fried and soaked in a spiced sugar syrup. And then Coke sisters are sweet, sticky, and crunchy. If you want, to have something, you have a sweet tooth, I would absolutely suggest checking that out. When you find yourself in Boka, you should definitely order this in some of their, great restaurants. Delicious. Once again, it is time to move on to the next culture we have in the Rainbow Nation. In the what? The Rainbow Nation, that is South Africa. Well, if you've been watching some of my videos, and I'm pretty sure maybe there's someone who's new to my videos and is like, why is she calling South Africa the Rainbow Nation? Well, if there's anyone who watches my videos and they made it thus far, if you don't mind, just explain in the description why we call South Africa the Rainbow Nation. And one of the reasons why we call South Africa the Rainbow Nation is because we also embrace and have Indian South Africans. And the KwaZulu-Natal province of South Africa is the place with the highest population of Indians outside of India, of course. So for the next culture, we're obviously going to talk about two famous South African dishes from the Indian South Africans. And these dishes include Bani chow. Bani chow is one of the most famous, absolutely famous dishes in South Africa. If you visit South Africa and you've left without tasting a bani chow, you have not really truly visited South Africa. South Africa, visitation is not complete with tasting what we refer to as bani chow. Bani chow is basically hollowed bread with curry. It is a hollowed out loaf of bread filled with spicy curry, usually made with chicken, lamb, or beans. It's a popular street food in Durban. The best bani chow you're most likely to find in South Africa is in Durban, which is in KwaZulu-Natal province of South Africa, which is where most Indian South Africans, reside. So definitely check out or grab yourself a street food bani chow when you visit South Africa. Bani chow. Okay, after bani chow, what else? What else do Indian South Africans have? We have samosas, which is basically savory pastries. They are triangular pastries filled with spiced meat, vegetables, or lentils. Then they are deep fried until crispy. These are common snacks from Indian South Africans. Okay, now to close things off with one of the most underrated South African cultures. It's not even considered one of the cultures when it comes to literature and languages that are considered to be the official languages of South Africa. So it is not considered an official, culture in our country, but we all know that these are the people we originated from. These are the indigenous South Africans, and that culture is the Khoisan culture. Khoisan South Africans have definitely shared their grievances with the South African government and officials that they are not really recognized as an official language, as an official culture within the South African constitution. And there was a strike that took place a while back where Khoisan South Africans, I might be mistaken, they sat in front of Parliament in retaliation or in a peaceful protest. I'm not quite sure. I will try to Google something and put it on the screen for you guys so that you can read it. Do you see it? Do you see it? Do you see it? They just want their voices to be heard. They want to be recognized as official cultures in South Africa, and they want their language to be recognized as one of the official languages in South Africa. After all, even my ancestors are the Khoisan people because amaXhosa, their language is derived from the Khoisan language, which the word Xhosa itself is a Khoisan term. I sometimes say that in my videos, and I will continue to say it because I too am vouching for Khoisan people. Absolutely love and respect their culture. Now, let's talk about two dishes from the Khoisans. From the Khoisan culture, we have nama stapel, which is bush bread. Khoisan basically are bushmen, so nama stamp is bush bread. The traditional bread is made with dough of the wild seeds and ground roots, baked in a pit or under hot coals. It tastes absolutely divine, amazing, love it. And after that, they don't really, most bushmen, or maybe in the past, I'm not sure right now, they mostly eat wild foods or food that they've prepared with their hands and everything. They don't eat store-bought food or processed foods and so on and so forth. They usually eat from wild trees, wild seeds, wild animals, etc. And then after that, we have bobotie, which is once again wild bush tea. Some of the healthiest food ever. It is a herbal tea made from the leaves of bogo plant, often enjoyed for its medicinal properties. It's a very, very healthy drink, much like green tea that we would find everywhere in Japan. Let me tell you this, when I was in Japan, everywhere you go, people are drinking green tea. So when we have parties, it's usually green tea. I would normally buy my own fruit drink because I don't want to drink green tea. We have two options. green tea or like alcohol, when we have like a faculty end of the year like party with everybody, in the department. So for non-drinkers, there would be green tea. So, most people would then drink green tea. And I do love green tea, but not at all times. If I'm celebrating in a party, I'm not going to be drinking green tea. So I would usually buy my own drink. I never said anything like, oh, I don't like green tea or anything. I would just like drink green tea, to show my manners and everything. But then on the side, I would bring my own drink. I didn't say anything to anybody about anything. And then the next thing is, I would see that now in the next party, they would get green tea and then get me the drink that I bought for myself. They're like, yeah, CV, we saw you drinking this drink. Hopefully you will like this one. And I felt so bad. I was like, oh my God, this is so sweet of you guys. I do like green tea though, But yeah, they had nice gestures. I didn't complain, I didn't say anything, but they just felt the need to do that. And I thought that was such a wonderful and a nice gesture for them to actually do that for me. So yeah. So there's so many wild teas that Khoisan South Africans also drink. They have medicinal benefits from a lot of things like diabetes, high blood pressure, and so on and so forth, which is why you're most likely to find them healthy and to live a very long life. It's because they eat organic food and they know which tree does what, which benefits are for what, and they utilize that to the best of their abilities. So yeah, that is it for the Khoisan culture, and they're your two dishes. Now that I've shown you guys the different cultures, the different foods, and so on and so forth, and I've even shown you like pictures and I described how they taste and what they look like, I have a minor question for you. Out of all the foods that I spoke about today, which one do you think tastes the yummiest, or you would absolutely would love to try it? Do let me know which one you'd absolutely love to try, which one you think, okay, I don't think I would try that one for A, B, and C reasons. And I think this one would taste amazing because of A, B, and C. And if you have visited South Africa previously and have tasted some of the dishes, what are your thoughts? What do you think about them? Do let me know in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Yeah. Nilale kakuhle, niphole kakuhle, nizole kakuhle. Noba yintoni nantoni eniyenzayo, niyenze kakuhle. Mna ndiza kunibona nina kwithuba elizayo. Ndinithanda nonke emakhaya.